Christmas dinner, everything changed. We were almost done eating when my dad suddenly put down his fork, looked at me and said, "You're a burden. You can't live with us anymore." At first I thought I misheard him. My mom gave a nervous laugh, unsure if he was serious. But he just stared at me, waiting. The room went quiet. My little sister Lily froze, her fork in midair. She looked at me, shocked. I swallowed my food and asked, "What?" "You heard me," he replied. "You've been here too long. You need to move out." I sat there in silence, trying to make sense of it. I was 23. I had a steady job. I didn't have to stay, I chose to. I helped pay for electricity, internet, and groceries because Dad had been jobless for years and Mom only worked part-time. I wasn't a burden. I was the one holding things together. But now they wanted me gone. Mom finally said, "Maybe we can talk about this later." "No," Dad cut in. "It's my house. My rules. He's out." Lily, only 16, looked scared. She stared at our parents like she didn't recognize them. If they could throw me out, what did that mean for her? I took a deep breath. I wasn't going to argue. If they wanted me out, fine. But they weren't ready for what would happen next. I leaned back and said, "All right." Dad looked proud, like he'd won something. Mom didn't say a word. I got up, took my plate to the sink and looked at Lily. I gave her a small nod. She was the only one I cared about at that table. Then I left. No more words. I went to my room and started packing. I wasn't going to fight for a place in a house where I wasn't wanted. I heard them talking downstairs. Mom sounded scared. Dad sounded firm. I caught a few words. "He's old enough. We'll manage. He should have left long ago." An hour later, Lily knocked and came in. Her eyes were red from crying. "What the hell was that?" she whispered. "I don't know," I said while packing. "But I'm leaving tomorrow." She shook her head. "That's crazy. You pay for everything. They can't even buy food without you." "Not my problem anymore." "Where are you going?" she asked. "I'll figure it out." I had some savings but no plan. Maybe I'd stay with a friend for a bit. I wasn't worried. I'd be fine. They wouldn't. She looked like she wanted to come with me but didn't ask. "They'd never let that happen," I said gently. She nodded, upset. "Yeah." After a long pause, she sighed. "You're going to regret this." I smiled. "I know." The next morning, I left before anyone woke up. I packed my bags, loaded the car, and took one last look at the house I used to call home. As I pulled out of the driveway, I opened my banking app and removed my name from every account. Electricity, internet, water, even Netflix. I had been paying for all of it. Now, without me, it would all shut down within a few weeks. I smiled, shifted into drive, and left. No second thoughts, no looking back. I crashed at my friend Jake's place for a few days while I searched for my own apartment. His couch was uncomfortable, his dog stared at me nonstop, and his roommate kept asking when I was leaving. But none of that bothered me. I was free. No more paying for a house I didn't even want to be in. No more pretending my dad deserved my respect. No more acting like an ATM for a family that never appreciated it. I was finally doing what I wanted. 3 days later, my phone blew up. 7 missed calls from my mom. 2 from my dad, rare for him. A few texts from Lily. I ignored them all until Lily messaged. "They're freaking out. The power's been cut off." I grinned. They really thought the bills would pay themselves. Another message. "Dad's losing his mind. He said you did something to the house." This was getting entertaining. I could picture him pacing around in the dark, yelling, while Mom panicked about the Wi-Fi. An hour later, my phone rang again. This time I answered. Mom's voice came rushing at me. "Kevin, we don't know what happened. The power's out. No internet. The water bill. You didn't pay," I said calmly. Silence. Then she asked quietly, "You were paying for all that?" I almost laughed. "Seriously? Who else would have been?" She started, "Your father said," but stopped herself. I already knew. Dad had no clue how anything worked. He probably told her everything would be fine like magic. "Not my problem anymore," I said. "Kevin, please, we didn't mean." I hung up. That was that. Let them figure it out. Maybe Dad would finally get a job. Maybe Mom would pick up more hours. Maybe they'd sell something. Either way, still not my problem. The next morning, I got a fraud alert from my bank. Someone tried to get into my account. Then 3 more alerts. Email, password resets, failed logins. I didn't need to guess who it was. I called Lily. He picked up right away. I was just about to call, she whispered. Dad's losing it. He was on the computer all morning. Trying to break into my bank account, I said. She paused. Yeah, probably. You remember that little notebook Mom kept with your old passwords? I did. And I knew exactly what Dad was doing. Kevin, she said quietly. He's really angry. Yelling non-stop. Mom's crying. He's saying you ruined us. That you planned this. He wants to call the police. I laughed. For what? Not paying his bills. I don't know, she said. He's saying stuff like, he's not getting away with this. I think he wants to come after you. That made me pause. I'd expected panic, maybe guilt-tripping. But revenge. Ridiculous. Lock your door, I told her. If he loses it, call me. Then I hung up and changed every password I had. Done and dusted. I had everything secured. Bank accounts, emails, streaming services, even Amazon. Then I called my bank and reported a hacking attempt. They locked the account so tightly even I couldn't get in for a few hours. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. That night I was at Jake's apartment. We were playing some dumb Xbox game when someone slammed on the door. You expecting anyone? Jake asked. I already knew something was off. I checked the peephole and my stomach tightened. It was my dad. He looked furious, fists clenched, breathing hard like he was ready to explode. Who is it? Jake asked again. Hi, Dad, I said, stepping back. Jake stood up. What the hell is going on? Another loud bang. Kevin. Open the door. I didn't move. I know you're in there. You think you can just walk away? Jake looked alarmed. Should we? Before he could finish, my dad kicked the door in. I didn't waste time. I grabbed my phone and called 911. My dad just broke into my apartment, I told the dispatcher. He's screaming and threatening me. Jake backed away. Kevin, this is insane. I know, I said. My dad kept yelling. You ungrateful little. You owe us. Officers are on their way, the dispatcher said. 2 minutes later, sirens. Then silence. Police. Open up. I opened the door. 2 officers were cuffing my dad. His face was red, chest heaving. But when he saw me, his expression didn't change. No shame, just anger. You did this, he growled. I didn't react. Because the truth was, he did it to himself. They took him away, but I knew things weren't done. An hour later, Lily called. Mom's freaking out, she said. She's crying and blaming you. Figures. She's already calling people for bail money. I chuckled. With what money? She didn't answer. We both knew they had none. No power, no internet, no savings, and now no dad to yell and pretend everything was under control. Keep an eye on her, I said. Let me know if she tries anything. And of course the next morning I got a text from Lily. Mom's selling your stuff. I called her. She answered fast. I told you to fix this. Are you selling my stuff? She paused. Then coldly, we need money, Kevin. So now you're stealing? She snapped. You left it here. That makes it ours. No shame. Just entitlement. I'm calling the cops, I said. Don't you dare. I hung up and did it anyway. 2 hours later, the police called me back. We spoke with your mother, the officer said. She's agreed to hold your things until you pick them up. I texted Lily, I'm coming over. But when I arrived, something felt off. My car was in the driveway. I'd left it at Jake's. I parked and looked closer. Someone had been driving it. The front seat was pushed back. Glove box open. Gas tank nearly empty. They stole my car. Then my mom stepped outside, arms crossed. You called the cops on me, she said. You stole my car. She rolled her eyes. It was just sitting there. You weren't using it. I stared at her. It's mine. How'd you even get it? She didn't answer. I knew. They had a spare key. Give it back, I said calmly. Yow. She glared, then turned inside. A minute later, she tossed the key at me. It hit my chest and fell in the grass. There. Happy. I picked it up. I'm taking my stuff and leaving for good. I walked past her and went inside. Lily was waiting. She looked nervous. She sold your laptop, she whispered. I took a breath, then turned to Mom. Where's my laptop? We needed money, she said like it was obvious. That was enough. I pulled out my phone and called 911 again. Right in front of her. Yes, I'd like to report stolen property, I said, looking her in the eye. The color drained from her face. You can't do this, she hissed. I'm your mother. I ignored her. Yes, she admitted it. I want to press charges, I told the officer on the phone. Lily stood frozen. This time Mom had to deal with the consequences. And I felt nothing but calm. Because finally I wasn't their safety net anymore. I was done. My mom's hands were shaking. She looked shocked, like she really thought I'd never stand up to her. Kevin, she said, this time softer, we're struggling. Your dad's in jail. I didn't have a choice. You had a choice, I replied. You could have worked more. Sold your own stuff. For help. Instead you threw me out like trash. She blinked fast, trying not to break down. I wasn't emotional. I laughed. Yeah. I was struggling too. Then I heard sirens. My mom jumped. A few minutes later, 2 cops walked in. Did you report stolen property? One asked. I pointed at my mom. She took my laptop and pawned it. I want to press charges. She gasped like I'd punched her. Kevin, don't do this. The officers turned to her. Ma'am, is that true? She hesitated, eyes darting between me, Lily, and the cops, probably wondering if she could lie her way out. Then Lily said, she told him herself. Right before he called you. Mom whipped around, furious. You little. Ma'am, the officer cut in, do you have a receipt from the pawn shop? Her face dropped. She knew she was caught. They took her outside. I watched through the window as they talked to her. Then came the cuffs. She started crying and yelling, acting like the victim. Neighbors peeked through their windows. She was shouting about how unfair it was, how she was just a mom trying to survive. Lily stood next to me watching. Is this really happening? I nodded. Yep. And for the first time in a long time I felt calm. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You're going to regret this. I read it twice. I knew right away, my dad was out of jail. Someone must have bailed him out. Probably one of his buddies or a clueless relative. I showed Lily the message. Her face went pale. Kevin, you need to leave. No, I said. They do. I turned to the cops outside. Can I grab the rest of my stuff? Sure, one said. As long as your sister's okay with it. Lily was already moving. Let's just get it done. We packed everything, clothes, games, even stuff I thought I'd left for good. This time I wasn't coming back. As I carried the last box out, my mom was still in the driveway, crying and pleading. This is a misunderstanding. He's my son. He wouldn't do this. I walked right past her without reacting. He screamed my name. I didn't stop. I got into my car. Lily stood at the window. She looked torn. I don't want to stay here. I nodded. I know. But 2 more years and you're free. She blinked fast, holding it together. I'll be okay. I'll lay low. Just call me if anything happens. Then headlights appeared down the street. I recognized the car immediately. My dad. He pulled up as I started the engine. He stepped out of the car, eyes locked on me, looking ready to explode. I rolled down the window just enough. You come near me again, I'm filing a restraining order. His fists clenched. You think you're better than us? I smiled. I know I am. Then I drove away. That was the last time I saw them. I blocked their numbers, changed my accounts, moved to a new place, and never looked back. Lily stuck it out for 2 years. The day she turned 18, she left. Moved in with a friend. Started college. We still talk all the time. As for our parents, Dad never kept a job. Mom lost the house a year later. They moved from place to place, wearing out every welcome. Last I heard, they were renting a tiny place in a bad neighborhood. They tried to contact me. Random numbers, Facebook, even letters. I ignored everyone. They made their choice that Christmas. And I made mine.